Crystal Palace found out very quickly that the step up from the Championship to the Barclays Women's Super League is a pretty steep one. They conceded 11 goals and didn't score in their opening 2 games, but they've adjusted quickly, beating Leicester, and by picking up a point against Liverpool, they've shown they belong. But make no mistake, Manchester City are on a completely different level. Gareth Taylor's side haven't lost a competitive game this season. That includes swiping aside Barcelona in the Champions League in a statement win. After they got so close to winning the Barclays Women's Super League title last season, Manchester City have come back, more determined and even more hungry. The first competitive matchup between Crystal Palace and Manchester City for us today. Selhurst Park awaits as we prepare to get back underway in the Barclays Women's Super League. Well, the international break has certainly taken its toll, and we'll see that with the lineups, which we'll get to in just a moment. Well, we'll start with the lineup for Crystal Palace. Two big names missing for Crystal Palace, and it's the 2 Danish internationals. Katrine Vij and Mila Gahl Jensen are missing. In come Fliss-Gibbons and Sinead Hopcroft as their replacements. Chiara Keating starts in the Barclays Women's Super League for the first time this season. There's no Leah Alexandri. Alana Kennedy comes in at the back. Mary Fowler is also missing, which means there's a chance for Alba Fugino, and she comes in. Well, the international break has certainly taken its toll. And in particular, it takes its toll for Crystal Palace, who certainly don't have the depth of Manchester City. An embarrassment of riches, a wonderful squad, which they will need if they are looking to fight on both fronts this season. That seems to be the target for Gareth Taylor and this team. Referee today is Lisa Ben. Josie Green and Alex Greenwood, our 2 captains. Well, Laura Kaminski, the coach of Crystal Palace, has said that this team is starting to look like a Barclays Women's Super League team. They shouldn't be underestimated. They played some really good football over recent matches. Ran Liverpool very close indeed last time out. Manchester City, though, are a different prospect, on fire so far for this season. Well, Manchester City gets us started in this Barclays Women's Super League tie. And Bunny Shaw is an early target. And she's lost the ball here. And Crystal Palace have it at the back. They can expect some pressure. It will come. Certainly it will come if they pass the ball like that. Bunny Shaw with an early chance. Easily saved by Shea Yanez. Careless behaviour, though, that Crystal Palace can ill afford at the back. Nicely worked. Through midfield towards Maikato. And now Blanchard, who is so often a game changer for Crystal Palace, was excellent last season in the Women's Championship. 11 goals in 19 games for Annabelle Blanchard. And was the creator and goal scorer in chief in their only win of the season, which came against Leicester. Well, that is certainly a building block for Laura Kaminski and Crystal Palace. A win that Villa, West Ham and Everton have yet to secure. Makes things look pretty interesting down at the bottom of the table. Lauren Hemp, who is in sparkling form against Aston Villa last time out, in a more central position, working the ball around, trying to get things going here. Hasegawa. And Greenwood wide. Here is Ohabi. Nicely worked around the corner by Jill Rords. And Lauren Hemp moving across to a more familiar position, finding Ohabi. Now Bunny Shaw. And Jill Rords trying to work the angle for the shot on goal. Still alive here with Park. Manchester City rather toying with Crystal Palace. Hemp's ball in, cleared away only as far as Jess Park. Hasegawa. Well, she can't find a way through. And Stengel is there. Will be so important, you feel, in this game, as Blanchard drifts offside. Stengel's hold-up play has been a real feature for Crystal Palace so far this season. Scored a pretty important goal as well last time out against her old side, Liverpool. Kiara Keating is back in the starting 11 in the Barclays Women's Super League. Won the Golden Glove Award in the league last season after a fantastic breakthrough campaign. 9 clean sheets in 22 for her. Has been playing second fiddle this season to Yamashita, but she starts here. Noah Harvey with the crossfield diagonal. Well intercepted, and it should be brought away here. Lily Woodham has lost it. Oh, really nicely worked for Manchester City, and it's perhaps a move that should have worked out slightly better. Ball lands with Shea Yanez though. Bunny Shaw stealing possession back and losing it pretty quickly. Back with Yanez, the busiest goalkeeper in the Barclays Women's Super League this season. Faced more shots on target than any other goalkeeper. Now Hasegawa. That's a wonderful pass. Picks out Hemp, who's instantly on her travels. The low ball in. Looking for Bunny Shaw, who wasn't there, and now she's looking for a penalty. But it's one she won't get. And I think that was the key word. She really was looking for that one. It's swept away. And there is an eagerness here from Kirsten Kasperide to keep the ball moving, keeping the ball in play. Wonderful pass forward by Greenwood. Roord has made a good run too. She was well tracked. Cuts the ball back. Hasegawa quickly towards Hemp. A bit too quickly for Hemp's liking. And she stretched to get there, but she couldn't quite reach. And it doesn't quite work out this time for Manchester City, but they have started this game very well, seeing lots of the ball as you would expect. Does look as though they have gone up a level this season. And Gareth Taylor has said that last season when they lost out, well, it gave them a new perspective. They now know what it takes to win the title. Losing out, of course, on goal difference at the end of last season to Chelsea. Runners up to Chelsea now 6 times. Runners up in the Barclays Women's Super League on 7 occasions. Looking for this season to be the one where they are champions. Here is Ohabi. And now Hemp with another chance to have a run at Crystal Palace's defence. Bunny Shaw again is the target. Ohabi there with a volley. No trouble this time for Shea Yanez. Never really looked as though she had her angle set. Lauren Hemp seeing lots of the ball on this left-hand side, something that Crystal Palace will want to change pretty quickly. Kasparai with the wild effort, which was off target. Big header by Greenwood. Finding her England international teammate Hemp. Onto Park. Trying to run through the middle this time, Manchester City. And there was nothing doing, the ball brought away, but again, it's Greenwood who is there. Manchester City will try their luck on the opposite side this time. Gugino forced back towards Alana Kennedy, who scored that brilliant goal in the Champions League recently against Sankt Pölten. One of those where all of her teammates looked around in complete disbelief. Wonderful strike, worth watching back if you haven't seen it yet. They've worked the space nicely here, Manchester City. And the pass was just short from Roord. She's won it back though. And here is Hemp. Hemp delivers, looking for Shaw. And the route to her well blocked off. Now Ohabi. Hasegawa onto Park. Well, so far, just over 10 minutes gone. Just the one major chance of the game. It fell to Bunny Shaw, didn't really catch it as perhaps she would have liked. But the pattern of the game is as expected. Crystal Palace happy to sit deeper. And Manchester City chasing the game. Bunny Shaw. Well, again, she hits the target, but again, she runs into Shea Yanez. Another comfortable save for the Crystal Palace goalkeeper. Angle for the shot for Bunny Shaw was always a difficult one. All good for Crystal Palace so far at the back. Perhaps they have learnt their lessons from the opening day and match day 2. 4-0 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur to start the season, and then a 7-0 defeat to Chelsea. Off goes Hemp again. Hemp is still going. She turns one in, and there was nobody there waiting at the back post. Hasegawa, Hemp, quick ball in, wonderful interception. Brooke Aspin is the one who manages to turn away. The England under-23 international with a brilliant denial. Well, the Crystal Palace fans here at Selhurst Park doing their best to get behind their team as Manchester City prepare this corner, which Park picks up and turns it back here in the direction of Fujino. Her cross is turned away, and Hopcroft does well to win it. Giroud, wide she goes, out to Fujino. Park wants it back, so does Hasegawa. It's Kennedy though who will be the target with the pass. And sliding in, Gibbons with a challenge that was to the liking of the fans here at Selhurst Park. Clears away the danger momentarily because Manchester City are right back at it. This will be a game of concentration for the Crystal Palace defence. Any slip-ups and, well, you just know that Manchester City will be looking to pounce. Ohabi looking for Hemp again. Here is Greenwood and Hemp. Hasegawa and Bunny Shaw. Manchester City being very patient here. Fujino makes the darting run. The cutback towards Roord though is well intercepted. Manchester City straight back at it here with Casper Wright. Harvey's quick feet. And Hemp's quick pass, now she has it back. And Giroud is there, looking for the give and go. Good work by Crystal Palace. Lexi Potter into Mikato, who wins the free kick. She was fouled by Giroud as she tried to recover the ball. And it's a free kick for Crystal Palace. Stengel the target, looking to flick on. Will be picked up here by Blanchard after the touch from Mikato. And the Swede on the edge of the area trying to return the favour, but it was a pass that was difficult to control for Blanchard. And look at them chasing after the ball here, Crystal Palace. Trying to make Manchester City make mistakes at the back. Hasegawa so tidy in possession though. Just took a step back and took control of the situation, and it was control that was needed. Manchester City navigate away from trouble. Harby thought that she was away. The referee Lisa Ben has just had to stop the game here for the injury. And it's an opportunity to regroup for these Crystal Palace players. And an opportunity to get some messages across for Laura Kaminski. Well, this ball in earlier on in the game did lead to a shout for a penalty. Bunny Shaw felt that she was pushed by Mikato, the referee of a different opinion. Bunny Shaw has had 2 chances in the game. Perhaps the earlier of the 2 was the best of them. Being central to all of the action, as she so often is. Barclays Women's Super League top goal scorer for last season. Often makes a big impact, and of course she was missing at the end of last season. Could have all been a different story had she been around for that crucial Arsenal game, the penultimate game of the season, that really ended up costing Manchester City the title. Oh, Josie Green, who had a really busy international break, still receiving some treatment here. The Welsh dream of making a major tournament for the first time ever is still very much alive after they beat Slovakia in the semi-final matchup to reach the Euros next summer. The penultimate match before the final between Wales and the Republic of Ireland. A big match to secure qualification for the tournament. Well, those games will happen at the end of November and the beginning of December. Well, momentarily, Crystal Palace have 1 fewer on the field. Green is back on though, and 11 restored. Hemp does well to keep the ball in play. Leila coming after that one. She does well to protect it too under pressure from Lexi Potter, and Crystal Palace won it back, but unfairly was the decision from the referee, and it will be a free kick for Manchester City. Hemp is drifting again into a more central position. Now Hasegawa looking in Hemp's direction, finding her with the pass. She can turn, and she's on her way here. Lauren Hemp sends one. Well, it was sent down towards the corner, but it was the wrong side of the post. Lovely run. All of the Manchester City players knew what was coming as Lauren Hemp drifted infield. Just off target though. Kasparai turning well away from danger. Blanchard wins it back, steals the ball away from Park. And Park is there to poke it away. And Leila Rohabi is instantly looking for Lauren Hemp. And Crystal Palace instantly looking to get the ball away, with the likes of Bunny Shaw not far away from the ball. Hemp swivel, and it was a lovely turn too, away from India Page Riley. Really think we've seen Jess Park step up her game this season. Good movement from her, but she has been forced back here. Leila Rohabi finding Hemp, and Hemp is on her way again, delivering in another cross and finding a route towards goal. Bunny Shaw onto Jess Park, but the effort was straight at Shea Yanez. Nicely crafted, but again Manchester City just lacking that clinical touch. Stengel able to bring the ball under control, lovely touch. Blanchard waiting for it in the middle, it won't get there. Greenwood's header, back with Stengel though. Blanchard has pulled into space and could have passed the ball wide. There was an overlapping run that was on. Instead, Crystal Palace happy to go back. A rare spell with the ball. And Gibbons has lost it. One back by Hopcroft. And off goes Lily Woodham, feeding one in behind. Chase on here. Stengel gets there ahead of Greenwood. And she does really well. Good centre forward play. Looks a really good acquisition for Crystal Palace. And her experience in the Barclays Women's Super League, I'm sure over the course of the campaign, will be very valuable indeed. Lexi Potter providing the option. Woodham's delivery, and it was a good one as well. Slid away by Alex Greenwood, who saw what was coming. Some talk that she might have to fight for her England place, Alex Greenwood. Didn't start in the Germany game during the international break. It was Bright and Williamson who started instead. Hasn't put the foot wrong so far here. Manchester City do have some more work to do though at the back. Crystal Palace players are making their move. It's Greenwood with the header away though. Mikato not taking any risks in any way whatsoever. Goes all the way back to Yanez. Well, you sense that Crystal Palace know that corner kicks and the like will be their chance in this game to get the better of Manchester City. Had clearly been working on something on the training ground this week. Didn't quite work out. Not on this occasion. Fugino now running at Gibbons. She slides in. And Fugino stopped momentarily. Hasegawa, always so tidy in possession, but this time she has lost it. And off goes Greenwood, navigating away from trouble. Gets a helping hand from Park. Jinking this way and that, Jess Park. Linking up nicely with her teammates, and Hasegawa dances free and plays the pass, and Roord has an angle here for the shot on goal, but she decides instead to go wide here towards Hemp. Hemp darts, then lifts one in towards the far post. Gino turns it back into the danger zone, and it's gathered up easily by Shea Yanez. Greenwood had time to pick the pass in towards Roord. Nice angles from Manchester City. A loose pass though from Park, trying to pick up again. And conceding the throw-in. Harvey has Hemp and had Roord ahead of her too, but Green able to swivel away from danger. And again it's that no risk policy from Crystal Palace as they clear the ball away up into Manchester City's half. Big months coming up for Crystal Palace. The three teams below them in the table are the three teams that Crystal Palace will play next. Everton, Villa and West Ham. Everton will be at home, and then Villa and West Ham away. That should give Crystal Palace fans a good idea of how they're shaping up after those three matches. But this is about as good a warm-up game as you'll get. Palace should arrive playing at the highest possible level after playing here against Manchester City. Hemp making a nuisance of herself, but she was unable to get there. Lots of variation in her position. She's on the left. She's more central in that right-hand channel there. Manchester City trying to create the overloads in different areas of the field, keeping Crystal Palace on their toes. Here's Jill Roord. And now Lauren Hemp, pushing off the challenge of Green. Hemp into Bunny Shaw, trying to turn between two. Between Aspin and India Page Riley though. Palace able to get the ball back. Leila Obhabi and Lauren Hemp combining, the ball in, sent in the direction of Fujino. And she was unable to reach it though. And it's no trouble again for Shea Yanez. Well, often if you are playing defensively, we'll look at the game in stages. The first 20 minutes is the first one, the opening half an hour is the second. Crystal Palace will see this as completing the first two stages. Now the challenge to get themselves up to half-time. You would imagine that Laura Kaminski, Crystal Palace's coach, will be pretty happy with proceedings so far. Just the one major chance of note on target. Bunny Shaw had that in the very early stages of the game. There was an opportunity for Lauren Hemp to score. She was unable to find the target though. She's got the ball here though. She'll give it to Leila Ohabi. Well, Manchester City were trying to work a move, but Shea Yanez has gone down here and will need some treatment. Well, the players will regroup here for a quick word with the coaching staff. And we can look back on what was a really good chance here for Lauren Hemp. Moved in from that left wing into a more central position. And did really well, worked the angle, just couldn't find the right side of the post. Given the way that she played in the most recent matchup in the Barclays Women's Super League against Aston Villa, you would have backed Lauren Hemp to score. A role model for the whole squad is what Gareth Taylor called her, and she's certainly the one here providing energy and looking to be the game changer. Not panicking just yet though, although with Chelsea not playing until later today, Manchester City will know that this is a really good opportunity to put the pressure on Chelsea in the late game with Everton. Well, we are just about ready to get restarted here. Manchester City have had 76% of the ball so far, and Crystal Palace have yet to have a shot in the game, which gives you an idea, if you are just joining, of how the game is playing out. Off goes Hemp on her travels, finding Park, linking up with Leila Ohabi. Side to side, Manchester City go, looking for a gap somewhere, looking for space to exploit. Lauren Hemp again in the middle of the pitch, moving across from the left-hand side. Leila Ohabi out on the left, she delivers, it's a good-looking ball, and it's the commanding presence of Shea Yanez that was needed. She punches away. Hemp is keeping the move alive. Greenwood joining the attack. Gets the give and go with Rawd. Hemp again. Quickly crowded out. Has three for company. Kennedy's touch is a heavy one. Does drop to Hasegawa, Bunny Shaw, Fujino. Well, it was really slick from Manchester City, and Hasegawa have made a really good run into the penalty area. The pass from Fujino, though, just missing her and landing in the arms of Yanez. Hemp. Green is there again, taking the ball away. Woodham did really well. Kept the move flowing for Crystal Palace. Was in an offside position though as the ball was played forward. And Kiara Keating, who's had a pretty quiet game, to say the least, gets a rare touch. And now Hasegawa. No room to turn this time for Lauren Hemp. Hasegawa always seems to have so much space. This time the pass intercepted by Mikato. Another who had a really busy international break was with Sweden's under-23 side, trying to break into the international team, although that might take some doing, given that Sweden have players like Angadal Rolfo, Ritten Karnerud, Blackstenius. Fujino drifting, finding Park. Now Rord. She spins, finds Leila Ohabi. And Lauren Hemp again, delivering in another cross. And not finding a teammate again. Fujino onto Park. Park tries one from range. Unbelievably hit. Wonderful goal from Jess Park. Well, time seemed to stand still, but Jess Park just seemed to know. She knew this was landing in the corner. Yanez at full stretch, but she couldn't get there. And Manchester City lead here against Crystal Palace.
Manchester City, number 16, Jess Park.
And they are at it again here, and Bunny Shaw is on the attack. And she lifts in, very quickly looking for their second. And it's a pass that's slightly overcooked. Some goal though from Jess Park here. And of course, with the Euros coming up in the summer, there will be players looking to make their mark, looking to make an impression. We see it every time there's a big tournament. Players start to raise their games. Jess Park really does feel as though she is coming of age, though. A rare Crystal Palace attack. 3 minutes to go until we hit the 45. Instant pressure on Lexi Potter. Managed to get the ball back. And Crystal Palace caught out, they're in an offside position. Chases on, Blanchard won't get there though. And neither will India Paige Riley. Hemp on one of her trademark runs. Goes scampering through the middle. Gareth Taylor spoke a lot after Manchester City's last match-up against Aston Villa about how patient this team were, and they have been very patient again here. Didn't hit the panic button, they were trusting in the process, trusting that their moment would come. And it was a special moment when it arrived too. And Jess Park with the breakthrough goal. Manchester City on top. Hasegawa, careless in possession, and now breaking away. Here comes Stengel. Hasegawa with her all the way. And a cross into the area, turned away by Leila Ohabi, and that was a foul surely. Whistle blown, Hemp brought down by Green. And it's a free kick for Manchester City. Blanchard running into Hasegawa, whose work rate here this afternoon has been excellent here at Selhurst Park. Off goes Jill Roord, and stretching to get there, Josie Green whipping the ball away. Blanchard crowded out. Manchester City lose the ball and they just surround you. Makes it so difficult for teams to break. Haven't given Crystal Palace a sniff in this game. Minimum of 4 minutes to be added to the end of this first half. Blanchard coming away with the ball here. Chance for Crystal Palace to build something before half-time. Stengel, again, swamped by the Manchester City midfield, who gathered around the ball and made things really difficult for her to progress. Here comes Hemp. Hemp to Fugino. Hemp again, going for goal. And not too far away from finding a second of the afternoon here for Manchester City. She was the instigator in the build-up, and she knew exactly what she wanted to do, just over the top of the bar though. You can really understand the comments from Gareth Taylor. She has set the standard here, Lauren Hemp, in the game. Jess Park, though, with the goal. Can't control the ball this time. Layla Ohabi with a clever flick. Hemp, just before half-time, delivers in a cross which was too long for anyone arriving. Recovered here by Kasparai. And Woodham able to do enough to disrupt the flow of any future Manchester City attack. Now Greenwood into Hemp. Managing the game through to the half-time whistle. It's been a really accomplished first half for Manchester City. They have allowed Crystal Palace nothing. They waited for their moment, and it was a special moment when it arrived. Maybe time for one final chance. Park trying to poke it through. Hasegawa, and now Fujino, and Bunny Shaw over the top. Well, she certainly had her chances in this game. Well, Manchester City's impressive start to the season continues here. They are on top at half-time, thanks to the goal from Jess Park. She sent one sailing into the top corner, and as a result at half-time, it's Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 1. Let's have a look back on the highlights of the first half. And these will be highlights dominated by Manchester City, who were very nearly on top in the early stages. Gifted a chance, which Bunny Shaw failed to take. Lauren Hemp has been really lively on the left, and she created this chance here. Bunny Shaw going down and claiming a penalty, but the whistle never arrived. They have been patient, Manchester City, and they have racked up the chances. Chance after chance that they failed to convert. Another here for Bunny Shaw. Easily stopped by Shea Yanez. And it did feel as though committed defending might keep them at bay all the way through until we got the half-time whistle. Committed defending and some surprising misses here. Lauren Hemp with a chance that was put wide. And then Park with an effort straight at Shea Yanez. Manchester City keeping their foot on the gas, keeping the pressure on. And they got their rewards, and they got their reward in style. Jess Park with a fine strike. A goal of real quality to put Manchester City on top. And they did their best to add a second before the break. Hemp with a teasing effort just over the top of the bar. And then Bunny Shaw with a header that also went over the top. Could have been a lot more, but at half-time here at Selhurst Park, it's Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 1. Welcome back to Selhurst Park for the second half of Crystal Palace against Manchester City. Our Barclays Women's Super League tie here. Manchester City are on top, thanks to the goal from Jess Park. They were dominant in the first half. They took their time about things. But after creating several good goal-scoring opportunities, they managed to find their way through in spectacular style. And Crystal Palace are ready to make a change here. And Veerden will be the one to enter the game. And she will replace Hofcroft. And, well, it looks as though it will be an attacking change here for Crystal Palace. She will certainly give them an outlet in attack. Away we go then for the second half. And it's Crystal Palace who gets us started. And it's Crystal Palace who need to respond. They are a goal behind. Lexi Potter is there to get the ball back. And it's helped on its way by Gibbons. And whilst Crystal Palace will be doing everything they can, I'm sure, to get back into the game, they can't really afford to leave themselves too exposed with players like Hemp and Shaw and Park around. I'm sure that Chiara Keating would have preferred there to have been a bit more action in and around the penalty area as she looks to prove herself. Yet to face a shot on target in the game. That's a wonderful ball by Greenwood. And Hemp first time sent in. And Aspin is back to make the clearance. Gino wanted the ball back, and the ball arrived. Perhaps not in the way that she would have liked, though, and it's cleared away by Crystal Palace. Greenwood again, knocking one, this time into the corner. Well, the game continues to adopt a similar pattern to the first. And it's Park who is probing again. Poking wide. Virgino's delivery, good cross and a wonderful save. At full stretch, Shea Yanez is there. And she keeps the scoreline at just 1 for Manchester City. This looked as though it was about to head into the corner until she produced a save to deny Rord. Well, after facing Crystal Palace last time out, Matt Beard, the coach of Liverpool, said that he feels that Laura Kaminski's side have more than enough to stay in the division, and you can understand why those comments were made after some of the performances here from Crystal Palace today, and in particular from their goalkeeper Yanez. Well, there is space for Fujino. Brings Greenwood into play. Layla Rohabi into a crossing position. Bunny Shaw there. And this is the chance to make it two. And it's one superbly taken by Jill Rord. Well, she said that she's feeling strong after her ACL injury from last season. She's looking strong, and so are Manchester City, who make their dominance pay and make it two. Well, last season she scored 6 goals in 11 Barclays Women's Super League games, Jill Rord, before picking up the injury. And you have to question whether that was a big part of why Manchester City didn't quite get themselves over the line. Big part of whether or not they can this season get beyond Chelsea finally may be down to the fitness of some of their players and whether they can keep everyone fresh over the course of the season. And that will be difficult given that they are fighting on a fair few fronts. Going very well in the Champions League as it stands. And going very well here. Hemp trying to get beyond Green. And Green felt that she'd won the ball fairly. The referee, Lisa Ben, of a different opinion. Manchester City then looking for goal number 3. Greenwood's ball punched away by Yanez. It will drop for Layla Rohabi. And Crystal Palace can tidy that one up and get that one away. Up towards Blanchard. Didn't really have too much time to do all that much with Rord around. Yanez under pressure, and Woodham also under pressure, losing the ball. Hasegawa tangling and winning it. And then Verdun comes across to lend a helping hand. The difficulty here now for Crystal Palace is that, without question, what they won't want to do is collapse Not with the games that they have coming up. They are about to face in the next 3 games the 3 teams below them in the table. And they want to head into those games with a positive mindset, I'm sure. Here's Lauren Hemp, darting into the area. Lauren Hemp still going, and Bunny Shaw was trying to turn it in the direction of Shea Yanez. Has won a corner. Manchester City pushing for goal number 3. Lauren Hemp, just a delight when she's moving like this. The ball sticking to her feet, seemingly. Manchester City corner. Leila Rahabi spinning into trouble. Potter unable to get there though. Another cross in and another chance. And it's one that Manchester City failed to take despite the best efforts of the prolific Bunny Shaw. Well, this is the kind of ball into the box that she craves, that she loves. And she managed to get the touch, but she couldn't find that far corner. It's another change for Crystal Palace. India Page Riley is replaced. Had her work cut out there up against Lauren Hemp. Abby Larkin on in her place.
Substitution for Crystal Palace, replacing number 20, Indy Riley, is number 27, Abby Larkin.
Here comes Hemp, spinning, looking to cause trouble, as is so often the way. Well defended by Crystal Palace. Vidden's ball is a brilliant one, and Stengel in a good position, but she's taken too many touches. And it's gathered up in the end by Chiara Keating. Well, it was just that moment of hesitation from Stengel. Big chance to get Crystal Palace back into the game. But when she had the chance to unleash, she just waited and took that extra touch. And Manchester City able to recover. Well, we should find out a lot more about this Manchester City team over the next month. The big game in the middle of this month, in the middle of November, we'll see Manchester City take on Chelsea. They've had a while to warm up. Beaten Aston Villa, Liverpool, West Ham and Brighton, and potentially Crystal Palace since the start of the season. It's all looked very good for Gareth Taylor's side. Big test though coming up against Chelsea in November. And they face Barcelona again before Christmas in the Champions League. Final matchup in the group stages. Well, here comes some changes now for Manchester City. And the first to go will be Lauren Hemp. Well, she hasn't got her name on the score sheet here this afternoon. but she's been a constant thorn in the side of Crystal Palace, been in sparkling form, and she is replaced by Chloe Kelly and Alex Greenwood, another of the England contingents. Busy during the international break, perhaps makes sense that she goes, is replaced here by Gracie Pryor.
Replacing number 5, Alex Greenwood, is number 28, Gracie Pryor.
Well, Gareth Taylor doesn't really need to take any risks in terms of match fitness. And with Manchester City seemingly in control, decides to make the changes. Parks won it here, roared onto it. And now Chloe Kelly. Well, Chloe Kelly has found herself on the fringes of this Manchester City team of late. She said that she is staying focused, and I'm sure she is, in what will be a big year for her with the European Championships coming up in the summer. And with Manchester City having so many big games over the course of the season, fairly inevitable that Kelly will be involved at some stage. Woodham is onto the ball here. And now Potter. Nicely done here by Crystal Palace. Maybe those changes came a bit too early from Gareth Taylor. Looking for their chance to pounce. Keating comes, not the best of punches away, and it was a chance to get back into the game, and it's one that Annabelle Blanchard fails to take. Couldn't keep the effort down. There was a moment here where it all looked a bit shaky for Manchester City at the back, that's for sure. Well, they bring some composure to the back in a moment where it was needed. And you can't really say that Crystal Palace have nothing to lose. They have plenty to lose, with goal difference so often so important in this league, as Manchester City cruelly found out last season. Crystal Palace came into this game, they conceded more goals than any other team in the division. I'm sure they'll be eager not to rack up more as far as goals against are concerned. Manchester City trying to invite some pressure here, and Crystal Palace staying in shape, keeping things organised. Chloe Kelly. On to Jess Park. Back in the direction of Kelly. Not the right decision this time from Jess Park, but she can be forgiven after her brilliant goal in the first half. The goal that got things going for Manchester City. Well, I have been told off before for mentioning results elsewhere in the Barclays Women's Super League, so I won't. But Crystal Palace will be watching the Villa, West Ham and Everton games, I'm sure, with a keen eye over the course of this Sunday. The three sides yet to win a game in the Barclays Women's Super League. That's some interesting results at the top today. Veerden is marching and delivering, and Palace rattle the post and on follow-up fail to convert. What a chance for Katie Stengel, and it was one she so nearly took. Brilliant race away here by Veerden, used her pace ever so well, and then had the vision to pick out Stengel, a ball that any striker would want. And Keating was well beaten, but the post was there. Well, a warning sign perhaps for Manchester City that they haven't wrapped this one up just yet. Katie Stengel, who scored in Crystal Palace's last match against Liverpool, against their old side, had the chance in that one to score what would have been a winning goal. And that was a brilliant chance here to get Palace into this all over again. Looked as though the game had escaped them. It might be about to now. Park lays it through. And here is Jill Roord looking for her second of the afternoon. Just didn't arrive quickly enough. Palace had the time to get back. And they make the vital challenge. Back with Roord. Well, if you thought this was about to be a dull 23 minutes that remain in this game, well, I think the two teams here have other ideas. Park looking to race clear. Now Bunny Shaw. Chloe Kelly, she delivers. And Roord can't reach, and she can only direct the header wide of target. Parks somehow managed to keep the ball in play. Layla Rahabi trying to get in on the act, brilliantly done. And it's another really good stop from Shea Yanez, who is having quite the afternoon in goal here for Crystal Palace. This one came in with real power, and yet somehow the Crystal Palace goalkeeper has managed to keep hold. Kelly in some space here. I'm sure what will delight Gareth Taylor today is that Manchester City were behind in their last 3 games, managed to win all 3, but made things perhaps a bit more difficult than they needed to. They might be in, they're looking for goal number 3 here, and Fagino goes down, but it won't be a penalty. Kennedy looking wide, looking for Kasparai, who can't connect with Chloe Kelly. She's got speed and tenacity though, and she's won it here and found Bunny Shaw, and she's turning and looking to find some room for an angle for Manchester City to attack Shea Yanez again. And here is Jill Roord. Manages to get clear of the challenge. Layla O'Harby was the target, and the pass didn't quite reach. Fujino back to Hasegawa. Now Chloe Kelly quickly moved on to Park. Park looking to turn provider this time, which she does. And Bunny Shaw does get her goal, and Manchester City have their 3rd. Slick passing again from Manchester City to open up the space. Kelly into Park, then the perfect ball. And look at this, brilliant header and wonderful movement from the arriving Bunny Shaw. Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 3. Well, time for changes. Could have all been so different here for Crystal Palace. It would have been a different game had Katie Stengel scored that earlier goal that hit the post. She's replaced. And Jill Roord, who scored goal number 2 here this afternoon, is one of those to make way. And so too, scorer of goal number 1 and provider of number 3. A brilliant afternoon for Jess Park, who is also off of the field. And Laura Blinkilla-Brown is one of the changes, and she looks to get onto the ball here.
Replacing 16, Jess Park.
And Molly May-Sharp, who has just come on for Katie Stengel, makes the race down into the corner.
19, Laura Blinkilla-Brown.
Bunny Shaw is away again. Looking for her second of the afternoon and still going. Kelly, big deflection on that, and Yanez is there to stop it making any further progress. Virden skillfully tries to get beyond Kasparai, who was able to recover. Well, Annabelle Blanchard here will need some treatment. And we can look back on the goal that may just have finished Crystal Palace off here. Too much room on the edge of the box, and clinical passing from Kelly and then Park to deliver just where Bunny Shaw wanted it, a thumping header. And a dominant performance here from Manchester City. The Barclays Women's Super League top scorer for last season would have always wanted to make her mark, and she has. She's also managed just about to roll up that captain's armband. Difficult to operate those substitution boards. There we go. Now Crystal Palace will be hoping that this is nothing too serious. Blanchard is taken off here, and Atkinson returns in her place. Mike Cutto also replaced here. Chloe Arthur is her replacement.
Another substitution for Crystal Palace, replacing number 5, Mikato is number 4, Chloe Arthur.
Laura Blinkila-Brown onto Bunny Shaw. Still pushing for more here. Manchester City. Hasegawa. And now Kelly. And Kelly stopped in her tracks. And we head into the final 10 minutes of the game. And it's another change for Manchester City. Fujino will be the one who makes way here. Solid afternoon of work for her, replaced by Murphy.
Substitution for Manchester City, replacing number 20, Alba Fujino, is number 46, Cody Thomas.
Bunny Shaw again. Tidy work. Through to Murphy. Opportunity for her to make an impact, but she has run out the pitch. And that will be a goal kick. Well, if Manchester City could have written a perfect script for this game, this would virtually be it. There was really only one moment where the game could have flipped on its head. Katie Stengel hit one against the post. Had she scored, well, this could have been a different second half entirely. But otherwise, Manchester City have controlled this one. Haven't been too frantic, haven't worried too much about the missed chances, have backed themselves to create more and score when those other chances arrive. One goal of real individual quality and two team moves that will probably please Gareth Taylor that bit more. Park, Roord and Shaw all on the score sheet. A demonstration that Manchester City have plenty of goals in this team this season. And they are still very strong at the back, just as they were last time around. Best defence in the Barclays Women's Super League last season. Heading towards a clean sheet here. Crystal Palace haven't been completely blown away. And you have to remember they have competed today without Katrine Vai and Miligar Jensen as well. Two players that would certainly have featured if they were fully fit in the starting 11. We haven't had word as to why they haven't been included here, having been heavily involved in the international break with Denmark. Perhaps Laura Kaminski didn't feel that it was worth the risk, given the fixtures that Crystal Palace have coming up. Manchester City will go up to the top of the Barclays Women's Super League. They have played 6 games when Chelsea have only played 4. Chelsea involved later on tonight in their game against Everton. Unbeaten so far though, Manchester City for the season. They've only dropped points against Arsenal. They may be about to concede here. Well, there was a chance, but it was a chance that Atkinson couldn't take. Thought she might go for the lob for a moment with Chiara Keating off of her line. Not really the connection on the strike that she was hoping for. Palace again with a chance to go for goal. Molly May Sharp this time trying to work her way through. Crowd here at Selhurst Park certainly backing Crystal Palace. Molly May Sharp going for goal, sat up really nicely for the volley, and she saw the chance to go for glory. Chiara Keating making the save. Already mentioned Crystal Palace in the next 3 games, Everton, Villa and West Ham. A win in one of those games would almost certainly be enough for Crystal Palace to be happy. And that has to be the target. And if they can do that, they put themselves in a far better position than Bristol City were last season. I think everybody at the start of the campaign started to make those comparisons. They may well be lazy comparisons. We shall find out over the next 3 games for Crystal Palace. Bunny Shaw is away here. Unable to find a teammate in the middle. Leila Ohabi challenged. And then she wins it back. Bunny Shaw's turn, feeds it through. Nice looking move, but Coombs unable to get there before the Crystal Palace defence recovered. And now Bearden. Well, she had Molly May Sharp around, but it's Kennedy who is there to make the interception. Kelly. Now Bunny Shaw.
The officials have indicated a minimum of 4 minutes added time. 4 minutes.
A minimum of 4 to be added then to the end of this game. Keela Brown has space on the right, and that is where the ball is sent. Chloe Kelly is there waiting. First time delivery from her. It was slightly behind Bunny Shaw, and then the effort from Hasegawa is easily blocked. Hasegawa again. Keela Brown has looked right since coming on. Kelly's touch. Shaw lays one off to Leila Rohabi, and her effort is well blocked. Here comes Hasegawa. Kelly with a chance to burst. And Kelly fires up towards the top corner. Well, it would have been the perfect end to what has been an excellent display from Manchester City. But Chloe Kelly is denied by the diving Cheyenne. Well, it just opened up for her. The invitation was there. What a top save that is. Manchester City's corner, not completely dealt with here. And it's fed in and kept alive by the diving Bunny Shaw. Still eager, not surprisingly, to add more goals. Not this time, though. Manchester City remain unbeaten in the Barclays Women's Super League. It's another dominant performance from Gareth Taylor's side. And it finishes here, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 3.
Full time here at Selhurst Park.
Let's have a look back on the game. Well, Manchester City were hoping to put the pressure on, with Chelsea playing later today. A chance to keep their foot on the gas at the top of the table, and they created plenty of good chances in the early stages. It was perhaps a surprise not to see more of these hit the back of the net. They were lining up in the middle, and they just couldn't find their way through. But the goal eventually came from Jess Park, and what a strike it was. The England international curling one beautifully beyond Shea Yanez to get things started here for Gareth Taylor's side. A classy strike from a player who is going from strength to strength this season. They tried for two before the break, and they weren't too far away from finding another. Lauren Hemp, who was really impressive all afternoon, going very close, and then Bunny Shaw, also not too far away. In the second half, well, they kept their foot well and truly on the gas. And it would have been a lot more were it not for the heroics from Shea Yanez. Brilliant save there to deny Jill Roord. She wasn't to be denied the second time around, though. A Harvey's ball in, not completely cleared, and it was rolled into the corner by the Dutch international perfectly. And from here, they never really looked back. Hasegawa impressed. One of a number of players to catch the eye here, and Bunny Shaw will feel she should have scored there, although her moment was to come. Crystal Palace had their moments too, and had Katie Stengel decided to get the shot away that bit earlier, maybe it would have been a different story here. Blanchard was another who had a half chance, had to take it quickly, and the bounce made it difficult for her. This was perhaps their best chance, though, in a second half where Crystal Palace really did create a lot more. Stengel rattling the post. It would have been 2-1 had she scored there. It wasn't to be. And from here, Manchester City, well, they just made sure. Kept on pushing, and in the end, they got their reward. Not this time. But Kelly was to be the provider in the end. So many good chances. So many efforts on target. Slick passing. Kelly into Park. And right where Bunny Shaw wanted it. Powered in. A thundering header. And a dominant performance here from Manchester City, who this time maybe will be able to do enough to beat Chelsea. Who knows? Long way to go, but they are well set. Crystal Palace will take some heart from the chances they created in the second half. But it's a game and an afternoon that belongs to Manchester City. Thanks for joining for this one. It finishes Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 3.